Well, this is the iconic Mercedes-Benz G Wagon, and for years, ever since I was a kid, I've heard about the G Wagon, but I've never driven one. Finally, I've got my hands on one. Now, this is the G400d, and this specifically is the adventure edition with the roof carrier and a ladder and many other accessories. We'll talk about it, but most importantly, the G Wagon globally is known to be a brute of a vehicle. And today, over the next few minutes, I'm going to find out and tell you why the G Wagon is considered to be such an iconic vehicle on this planet. So let's find out and see how the G Wagon is to drive like. And now let's talk about the G Wagon. But before we do that, just make sure you subscribe to the channel and press that little bell icon. And if you like the video, share it as well. Now coming to the design first, well, the G Wagon looks exactly like a G Wagon should. And it's great that, the designers haven't really tinkered unnecessarily with the design. It's still boxy, it's muscular, it's big, and that's what is the USP of this vehicle's design. It just dominates the roads once it's out there. People just make way. Once they see the G Wagon in their rear view mirror, they make way, they just move over. That's the kind of stance that this vehicle has got. And everything about the vehicle. In this one, in fact, is the adventure edition, so that's why you've got a ladder and a roof rack, which gives it a little more bulk. But you've got 19-inch good-looking alloy wheels, and if you look at the front, again, a very boxy front, a very muscular hood that you've got, old school indicators up front, give it that charm. And even if you look at the overall design, it's upright, it's boxy. Even the windows have got this square cut pattern. You've got this massive muscular rear wheel, the spare wheel at the back with this very nice looking cover. So all of it results in a vehicle that looks like nothing else on the market in the world. Now before I go ahead and talk more about the G Wagon and what really makes it special, let me also get the interior out of the way. Once you step inside the cabin, and stepping inside the cabin is a fair bit of a task, it's quite high. So yes, once you are in, it's a proper Mercedes-Benz cabin. Familiar layout and everything top-notch in terms of quality. One big change or difference that a lot of people might notice who've driven other Mercedes-Benz cars lately is that this hasn't got any touch screen. Old school charm, right? So you've got to use this trackpad or this dial to make your way across the menus, and it works, it's fine. I don't mind these old school controls. In fact, I like these better than the touchscreen. But then again, at the end of the day, the system is fine. It's got all features and it works well. The visibility is good. So yeah, it does the job, and that's what you expect from anything in the G Wagon. Even in the back space, the seats are good. You've got loads of space. There's enough knee room, leg room. The headroom is good. Even the under thigh support is good. So it's comfortable even for the rear occupants. Up front, you've got, again, very good seats, good features, sunroof, everything's there. So in terms of comfort, it is a very comfortable car. But that's not the USP of the G Wagon. What makes the G Wagon so special is the way it drives, the way it looks. Looks we already discussed. This version, the G400d, now this is powered by a diesel engine, and this engine is a great example of why diesel engines are so amazing. I just hope that someone tells the people making decisions in India that diesel engines are not bad. In fact, this is the most powerful production diesel engine ever made by Mercedes-Benz. And this 3-liter 6-cylinder engine develops 330 horsepower, and 700 Newton meters of torque. And on the road, and this vehicle is heavy, it's big, it weighs more than 2.5 tons. So it is like a big moving slab, and it isn't aerodynamically efficient, it's boxy. But still, this gem of an engine moves this mass effortlessly. I mean, right from the word go, there is almost no perceivable lag. And that is down to the smart turbocharging technology that this engine uses. Now, it's got on the face of it, a twin turbocharging setup, but the turbocharger unit, it's a single unit. But inside that, you've got a smaller turbo and then a larger one. And because of using these two different stages of turbocharging, what happens is there is barely any lag. I mean, from the word go, no turbo lag, and even when you move up higher in the rev range, again no turbo lag. So that's the beauty of this engine. And because of this and many other such smart technologies and all of this torque and power, this vehicle just moves really effortlessly. And the biggest part, it doesn't sound like a diesel. I think this is one of the best diesel engines in the world. It is so refined, it's just silk smooth. When you're cruising, even when you're driving, when you're accelerating normally, you just don't realize this is a diesel engine. Only when you slam your right foot down, it makes some diesel clatter. Only then you realize that, okay, you've got a diesel motor up front. But beyond that, what a brilliant engine. Made it to a 9-speed automatic gearbox, works flawlessly. In terms of driving, I think it's a brilliant machine. Now, we've established it looks phenomenally good. It has a cabin like a Mercedes-Benz should. It drives well. Yeah, it's got a very good diesel engine. But what makes it a G Wagon? Why is it so special? Well, this to start with really sits high off the ground. So definitely it helps in having a very dominating stance on the road. But beyond that, when you go off-road, you can literally go over pretty much anything as long as you are taking things in a rational manner. So for off-roading, this is brilliant. It's got a full-time 4-wheel drive system, and you also have a button here to select low range when the going gets really tough. And when the going gets beyond tough, it gets almost impossible. Then these 3 buttons come to your rescue. These are the 3 differential locks that come with the G Wagon, and you can lock the center, the front or the rear differential using these buttons. And when you combine all of this with the high ground clearance, the amazing departure and approach angles, the ramp breakover angle, when you add all of it, what you get is a machine that can literally obliterate off-road courses. And that's what makes the G Wagon so special. Now, when you add what all I said, it's a brilliant vehicle to drive on the road. It's refined, it's powerful, but at the same time, it can just go at off-road places where one wouldn't imagine a vehicle can go right up to. But it would just manage those off-road obstacles with comfort. And then again, when you talk about its ride quality, the ride quality is amazing. It's in comfort, it's a bit wallowy, but it feels nice. You can put it in sport, stiffens up, and even the suspension works really well. It's got coil springs, but it's got these adaptive dampers, so you can switch between modes, comfort, eco, and sport. Accordingly, your steering and your suspension setup changes, and that all of it makes a big difference in terms of how the vehicle drives. But at the end of the day, it is a very comfortable vehicle to be in, not just for the driver, but for all occupants. And in addition to that, also, while we are at it, let's talk about fuel efficiency. For a vehicle that weighs over 2.5 tons, has a 3-liter diesel engine, this gives surprisingly good fuel efficiency. If you're not very enthusiastic with your right foot, it will easily give you about 9 kilometers to a liter, maybe even 10 if you've got less traffic. But if you're caning it, it'll very rapidly drop to the region of 3.5 or 4 kilometers to a liter. By the way, it comes with a 100-liter fuel tank. So yeah, I mean, visiting the fuel pump is going to be very, very expensive. But then again, if you've got more than 2.5 crore ex-showroom to pay for the G Wagon, who the hell cares about those fuel bills? They're just change. So at the end of the day, why the G Wagon? I mean, does it have any flaws? Yes, it does. It's, to start with, for what it is, it's a brilliant vehicle. But for 2.55 crore ex-showroom, I think it's very pricey. There is nothing like the G Wagon on this planet as of today. But still, for 2.55 crore, it's a lot of money. So I think it's overpriced. The other thing that could have been a little better in the G Wagon is probably, the comfort way of riding. The suspension is very nice, soft, but the only slight problem I have with the suspension is that it's just too soft. And so again, it's not a big thing, but yes. But again, beyond that, like I said, it's pretty much a fantastic vehicle. It's just the price. But then again, look at it, you will pay a lot of money for it. But at the end of the day, you will end up with a vehicle that has no competition, no rival. And when you are on the road, people will make way for you. I mean, small cars and SUVs just scramble when they see the G Wagon coming with the lights flashing in the rearview mirror. And the kind of authority you have on the road, the kind of off-road capabilities that you get with the G Wagon, although I'm not sure how many owners would really use that, but it's always good to know at the back of your mind that you've got some brilliant off-road capability. And more than that, it's the character of the vehicle and this bad boy attitude of the G Wagon. It's something, I mean, if the world was to come to an end and there were zombies running all around, if there's one vehicle you want to be in, it's the G Wagon. I mean, just look at it. The doors, the way the doors open and close, even there are no door handles, you need to press the button. Everything is so old school. The way you need to slam the doors, the kind of sound that comes when you lock and unlock the vehicle, the kind of click that you get to hear, the door hinges that show up on the outside, it just looks as if it will outlive the owner of this vehicle. It will just stand the test of time. And that's what makes the G Wagon so special. And for something so special, if you end up paying a lot, well, it's a once in a lifetime experience. You only live once, and there is only one G Wagon on this planet. So yeah, I mean, if you have the money, go buy it. Don't think.